Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Dragon Ball The Breakers, going for A-Time-Travelin We Will Go. This one is to escape with 3 or more allies in the backup time machine. This one's going to be done in an online game. This one has to be done from the survivor side, so make sure you choose that. Hopefully you have some pretty good teammates for this one, as this one is going to require quite a bit of teamwork. So make sure you get into the game, and then what you want to do is make sure with your team you try to get one of the backup time machines to appear. Now, the backup time machines are going to basically be a backup to the super time machine. Basically, they're going to serve as an alternative escape method to the super time machine. The backup time machines are going to appear pretty late in the game once a significant amount of players have been eliminated. But in order to get this achievement, we're going to have to escape with one of these backup time machines with 4 people on it. So because we need so many people in the game in order to get this achievement, we are going to have to force a backup time machine to appear. And the easiest way to do that is to basically just get the super time machine to appear like normal. So make sure you just play the game like normal alongside your teammates. Make sure you try to go for the power keys and make sure you try to slot all of them. Once you get all 5 power keys found and slotted, you should get the super time machine to appear in the middle. However, instead of trying to activate the super time machine in order to win it that way with everyone escaping, we're basically trying to just get the super time machine to appear in order to get the backup time machines to also spawn alongside it. So just make sure you keep that in mind. We're basically just using the super time machine as a spawn method. It's also going to serve as a pretty big distraction, as the raider is going to most likely go after it if you are doing this in a legitimate game. Obviously, this achievement is going to be way easier if you're doing this in a boosting game with some friends or boosting partners, because you can control the outcome of the game a lot easier. So make sure you do keep that in mind. But nonetheless, just make sure you get those power keys found, make sure you get them slotted, and make sure you do that for all 5 of the sectors. Once you and your teammates collectively do, you should get the super time machine to appear in Sector X. It should drop down from the sky, and then basically everyone is going to try to go after it. But of course, we're just going to ignore it, as we are going to need to escape via backup time machine. So what's going to happen more likely than not is the raider is going to go after the super time machine. What you want to do instead is you want to make sure you look around the map, and then make sure you try to look for a blue beacon. The blue beacon is going to signify wherever there is going to be a backup time machine spawn. And then what you want to do is want to make sure you try to coordinate this with your team in order to try to have everyone meet up at one of these blue beacons. It may take a while to appear, as they are going to be random, but you should guarantee at least one to spawn if the raider can blow up the super time machine. So if you're still having trouble finding one, just make sure you try to give them the super time machine, have them blow it up, and that should force spawn at least one of the backup time machine beacons. Now, regardless of how you get it to appear, once you do notice a blue beacon, what you want to do is want to make sure you try to set a waypoint and then get the rest of your team to try to meet up here. You're going to need a minimum of 4 survivors in order to get the achievement. However, all 7 people on the survivor side can go for it if they can. Just do keep in mind, as soon as the raider blows up the super time machine, the game is going to give you a 2-minute time limit in order to finish up the rest of the game. So that's how long you have to get everyone over here and aboard the backup time machine. So make sure you do keep that time limit in mind. But once you have everyone over here, make sure you have someone try to spawn the backup time machine in. As soon as it spawns, you want to make sure you get everyone who wants the achievement to hop aboard. Again, you are going to need a minimum of 4 people, so you have 1 pilot and then at least 3 people on the sides. And then as soon as you get that number, the pilot is going to be the one that makes the jump. So have the pilot hold down that button and make the warp. Hopefully you can get this done within the time limit, and if you can jump to your escape with enough people on board, you should be good for the achievement. So the pilot can fly the time machine around, so if you have a bunch of time still left on the board, just make sure you fly and pick up all the passengers. Everyone's going to hop aboard, and then once you get enough passengers, just make sure you have the pilot make the jump, and then once you make the jump, you should be good for the achievement once you hit the victory screen. So escape successful, and then a victory where we escape with everyone on board. And then once we do beat the raider this way, we should be good for the achievement. 30 gamer score for this one, and that's all there is to it.